Hello there, Tomatronic here with my very first ever Let's Play series. I've never done this before, I've never recorded myself playing a game before, but I have this little idea that's been growing in the back of my mind, and I wanted to see if I could turn it into some kind of interesting story for people to watch. So I apologise in advance if this is not what people expect from a Let's Play series. I think the most nerve-wracking thing for me is firstly to stop saying all the time, which I seem to do a lot, which I didn't realise. And the other thing is obviously that I don't naturally speak to myself all the time while I'm playing games because I'm not crazy. So I think that's going to be the hardest thing for me, to keep things engaging and interesting while still being able to focus on what I'm actually doing in the game. So please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or how I can improve. I'm not going to promise anything. I'm not going to tell you, yeah, this is a channel that's going to be going for 10 years making Let's Play series, because who knows. Speaking optimistically, I'd like to continue. I'd like to do a lot more Let's Play series. I'd like to have them quite story driven, and I will be choosing games like Rimworld that are story driven. And I'm not really a Call of Duty kind of gamer. Not that I have anything against it or them. It's just not what I prefer to do. So that's my very long and boring introduction, and now I will get on to this Let's Play series that I have in mind. So, as you can see, we're playing Rimworld, which is one of my favourite all-time games. I've set up a custom scenario, which I'm calling A Jedi's Tale. And obviously that means that I'll be using the Star Wars mods. And I'll be playing as long as I possibly can until I'm inevitably destroyed, either by my own stupidity or because the game gets ridiculously difficult at times. The best thing I can hope for is that I don't get completely wiped out in the first few episodes. That I'd like to keep it going for at least 10, 15, hopefully 20, 30 episodes. I just really don't know with this game. Sometimes you think everything's going well and you get really comfortable, and then something comes along and completely wipes you out. Now, if you don't know what Rimworld is, I highly recommend you check it out. It's one of the most fantastic games I've played in years and years and years. It's challenging, it's hilarious, it's really addictive, and it's so story-based that you start to feel for the characters and you really have a sense of responsibility over them. I've been following the game since way back in early access, and even though I do have a tendency to get bored, some games I just have a callback to, regardless of how much I play them, and Rimworld is one of those games. So, the description by the devs of the game is a sci-fi colony sim driven by an intelligent AI storyteller, inspired by Dwarf Fortress and Firefly. Generates stories by simulating psychology, ecology, gunplay, melee combat, climate, biomes, diplomacy, interpersonal relationships, art, medicine, trade, and more. So, as you can see, it's quite in-depth, and it's really one of those games that you get out of what you put in. So, as I said, this is my first time doing anything like this. It's the first time I've recorded myself even playing a game, apart from the failed attempts at this series that I've been doing in the last few days. So I really have no idea how it's going to go. I'm not a pro gamer by any means. I do play, fairly regularly, but it's just an hour or two here and there when I'm not doing my artwork or if I'm stuck in the office in the day. So chances are I will mess things up. I will make mistakes. I'm absolutely sure of it. But hopefully that will just add to the comedy aspect that I'm going for, which Rimworld tends to give you whether you like it or not. It's fine. Go ahead, laugh at me, tell me what I'm doing wrong. It's totally fine. I can take it. So I got this idea after playing around with the Star Wars mods, which just added a whole other new aspect to Rimworld, which was amazing for me. And as I said, I have set up a custom scenario already. So the first thing I'm going to show you quickly is the list of mods that I'm using. You can see here we've got the three main ones you need to see are the three Star Wars mods. And then I've got a color-coded mood bar, which is amazing. And I've got some more vanilla turrets thrown in there, and some extra guns and stuff, more furniture. And this is these ones at the bottom I can't get to work. I'm not saying they don't work, I'm just saying that for me I can't get them to work, so I'm just going to leave them off so I don't get any crashes. And this is what I'm going to be using, and this is my go-to mod list for this game. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new colony. I'm going to click Scenario Editor, and I'm going to load up a Jedi's Tale, which I've already created. So my basic premise for this is I wanted a group of young apprentice Force sensitives who they've been raised to follow the rules and to live the life of either a Sith or a Jedi. Now, these 6 young Force sensitives have decided, they've been plotting and planning together, communicating in secret, and they've decided to leave their homes and to run away from it all and start a new life for themselves, where they're not constricted or constrained by the rules that have been forced upon them since birth. So I'll just read through the description for you that I've written. Led by a brave, fearless student of the Force, the 6 young Force sensitives embark on a journey of rebellion and discovery into the unknown. The group have plotted and planned for years, gathering supplies, saving money, and improving their skills. All their lives they've been told what they can and can't do, but they feel there's another way to live, and they're willing to risk everything to try it. Although their Force powers have yet to awoken, the group all know that they soon will become powerful enough to defend themselves from anything the world can throw at them. The question is, can they survive until then? Only a few hours ago, they stumbled across the remains of a battle between Rebel and Imperial forces. Luckily, they were all dead, and the group were able to recover some better armour and weapons. Now it's time to settle down and build a new home. So as I said, I want this to be challenging, but I don't want it to end too soon. So I've given myself 6 relatively decent starting characters. They all specialise in one thing or another, and they're not super powered, but they're definitely better than what the game would give you to start with if you were just playing on a default setting. Now, because they're all Force sensitive, I've obviously given all the starting players 100% chance of getting the Force sensitive trait, as well as the optimist trait, because they're going out on their own. They're leaving their home behind to start a new life. I'm guessing, as they've been planning this for a while, that they're pretty optimistic, otherwise they probably wouldn't be doing it. And I've given them all the iron-willed trait, purely based on the fact that I think they'll all be pretty well trained and conditioned since birth. So, they've been saving up for a while. They've all contributed a bit of silver towards the cause. They've saved up some food, some medicine, some steel, some wood, some components. They all have their own lightsaber, with a different colour. They've got some advanced components, and then, as I said, where they found the recent battle between the Rebel Imperial forces, they've found 3 blaster rifles, 3 carbine rifles, some Stormtrooper armour, and some Rebel Alliance armour there. I've also given them a dog each. I've given them 3 Huskies, 2 Labradors, and 2 Yorkshire Terriers, and then I've just put 200 steel just randomly scattered around the map, just in case. So the idea with the armor is, obviously the characters have all been trained in the ways of the Force, but to help me and to help the game decide which side of the Force they were trained under, I'm hoping when the game starts that they all naturally go and take a set of armor. And depending on which armor they choose will determine which way I level them up throughout the game. As which powers I give them. There's dark side powers, grey powers in the middle, and then there's light side powers as well. So if they take a full Stormtrooper set, they'll be dark. A full Rebel set, they'll be light. And if they choose a helmet and armor of a different side, then I'll keep them as grey Jedis, or grey Force followers. I'm trying to move away from using the words Jedi and Sith, because the characters are moving away from exactly that. They don't want any of the restrictions they've had before, but they're not bad people, none of them. Even the trainee Siths on the dark side of the Force were never really into doing what they were told to do. They're all good people, they're all positive, and they want to make the world a better place for them and for the other people that might join the colony as well. So I'm going to choose Cassandra Classic. It just gives a much better chance for me to be able to establish a small base before the game starts getting really, really challenging. I'm going to put it on rough difficulty, which might be a mistake because it can get very difficult, but as I said, I do want them to be some challenge. I don't want it to be a complete walk in the park. And I think that's it. I'm going to go next. For the world seed, I am going to write first let's play. And we'll see what the game generates for us there. Ideally, I'm looking for a temperate forest region with all year round growth and small hills for mining and resource collection. Let's have a look here. Temperate forest, small hills, 40 out of 60 days growth. I want better than that. I also don't want to be too close to any factions because generally it's hostile, 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 hostile. I mean, starting in the middle of all these would be difficult, to say the least, if they start attacking. So, let's have a look at this one here. Small hills, granite, all year round growth, 100% forageability. I mean, this is as close to perfect as you're going to get, except it's got 3 factions around it. It could be worth having another look around. Maybe here. No. Here. Okay, this could be good. There's less factions around. All the stuff that I want. Okay, I'm going to go for this. So I want to choose a slightly bigger map than the default. And that's it. We can get started. Okay, so I have gone ahead and made these 6 characters already. We've got Brian Matthews, nickname Boss. He's 21 years old. He's the faction leader, and because of that he is now incapable of cleaning, the self-important prick. But it's okay. He's not a bad person really, he just feels like he has more important things to worry about than cleaning. Now, he's pretty good at shooting and melee combat, or melee combat, and he's pretty average on most other things except for social, which is really high because, you know, he needs a certain level of charisma to be able to maintain the group. He's also quite smart, so he can double up as an extra researcher if we need him. Next we've got Babor Born, who's nicknamed Cook. He has always been into cooking, so he's got a pretty high cooking skill and he's fairly average on everything else. Helga Gruber, nicknamed Fixit. She's our builder and miner and crafter, but not very good at anything else in particular. She has the undergrounder trait, which was just here when I made the character, so I thought I'd leave it on. It just means that she never feels unhappy about mining and digging underground. I think the boss has got that one as well. It was just there when I made the character, so we'll leave it there for now. Next we've got Graham Camisa, nicknamed Fingers. He is our farmer, and he also likes to dabble with medicine a little bit as well. He likes to think of himself as a herbalist, although, you know, herbalist can mean many things, man. And basically he likes to partake in a little bit of smoke leaf. Okay, next we've got Myra Braccaro, nicknamed Doc. She is our main doctor. She's trained to a high level in medicine. She's super smart and will double up as our main researcher. And she's, you know, pretty average at everything else as well. Then we have got Cameron Grunt, nicknamed Tank. He is our miner, builder, and fighter, basically. He's a typical tank unit. Not very good at anything else except those physical tasks that we need there. Okay, let's have a look at relationships. So I've got Cook and Fixit, husband and wife, and then I've got Fingers and Doc, who are lovers. And the equipment I've shown you on the page before. And then I think we are ready to start. Let's just double check everything here. All good. And let's get going. It's always exciting, this part, and a little bit nerve-wracking. You never really know what you're going to get thrown in this game. So all I can do is hope and try to play as best I can, as I know. I kind of know that the first few steps you need to take for survival, but This game really is, I mean, it just really can just throw a curveball at you. Okay. So, the gang have decided to stop here. I'm sure they have their reasons. Just going to take a quick look around the map, see if there's anything immediately worrying or good. There's a nice herd of muffalo there that we can hunt, which is fantastic. There's a few locations like here which might be full of an ancient danger, which is normally where you can find some high-tech loot as well as high-powered enemies. Here's all our starting resources that I selected. Let's just take a look at this. So, the Rebel Alliance has declared war on the Galactic Empire. Infighting may occur in your territory. Well, that's not so bad. We can deal with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is build a stockpile zone. I'm just checking where I'm going to build my base. I want it to be pretty central. I'm going to eventually mine all this away, but to start with, I can kind of build out from here and around and make this my base wall to start with until it's mined away. So I'm going to go ahead and build a stockpile zone here, quite a large one, and another one directly next to it. One will act as a food storage, and the other one will act as everything else storage for now. Eventually, when I have the electricity research, I will refrigerate this, and it will mean that we can keep our food refrigerated. But for the time being, it's much better to have your resources, your supplies covered, as it stops them deteriorating in the weather. So I'm just going to build walls around these two stockpile zones, and I want to put some doors either side so they can access the rooms. I'm also going to allow all these starting resources so they'll start picking them up and hauling them over to where they need to be stored. I'm going to set up their daily schedule now. So first thing in the morning when they wake up, I want them to have 1 hour recreation time where they can eat and do whatever they need to do. And then from 7 to 1, I'm going to have them working. Then they can have a 1 hour lunch break, and then they can work through until 6 o'clock. Now, as I've said, I've played this game quite a bit, and this seems to be an okay amount of time for them to sleep. You can reduce it to 7 hours instead of 8 if you're really desperate to get things done, but this is how I base my standard schedule. And if characters start to get depressed or down, I can give them more rec time, reduce their work hours and whatever. I'm going to make sure that the dogs that are big enough can haul and rescue people. Obviously the Yorkshire Terriers are too small for that. Can't start any research yet because I need a research bench. And as soon as they finish building these walls, I'm going to get a small production room going here. And in there I can build a simple research bench which will get the ball rolling. The first thing I need to research is furniture so I can build some bedrooms, and then I can get onto the electricity research, which will enable me to keep rooms cool, you know, and moderate the temperature of the colony. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up while they finish off this building. It's raining, they're working hard, but overall they're pretty positive. They're feeling happy with the area they've chosen, feeling happy with Boss's decisions as a leader so far. So I mean, overall, things could be worse. I'm just going to make sure that these rooms have a roof zone that go right over them. Sometimes the game fails to recognise that you need a roof over the whole building. And sometimes it's because the roof can't support itself in the middle, in which case you need to put a support wall in there. Which I think is the case for these. So I am going to plonk a wooden wall right in the middle of both of those. And as the day draws to a close, our colonists are going to start finding somewhere dry to sleep, if they're smart, and if not, like Cook, they'll just fall asleep anywhere and wake up in a bad mood probably, which is great. Now the way the Force mod works is, as you can see here, it says something is awakening. Now after they've reached a certain level of experience, this will open up a whole new ability tree where I can start to choose which side of the Force they fall on, and which skills they have, and how good they are with the lightsaber and things like that. So they're all getting up now, and hopefully they're going to finish off this building soon. I'm going to get some mining going. What is this here? Compacted steel, fantastic. It's exactly what I want. So I'm going to start chipping away at this compacted steel here, with the hope to eventually remove all of this and expand my base out into this. But for now, at least it offers some kind of protection from this side of the map. If anybody decides to raid, which they will, they'll have to come over here or under here, where I can build some sandbags to, you know, try and defend myself. And actually, speaking of defending ourselves, I am going to make them all pick up a weapon. I'm going to give Tank a lightsaber with a blue crystal. He's our main soldier unit, and I'd like him to be able to run in and... oh no, Tank's a female. Ah, amazing. Okay. So I'd like her to be able to run in and kick shit. Kick shit out of people is exactly what I want her to do. I forgot to make her get the crystal. Hurry up, Tank. Okay, so she has a lightsaber now, which I can activate by military draft there. Doc, I'm going to give a rifle to, as well as Boss, I'm going to give a blaster rifle, and Cook, I'm going to give a rifle. Fix It, I'm going to give a rifle. Where's Fix It? Ah, Fix It is locked in a room with no doors. It's not good. Should be able to get out soon. There we go. Now she's going to go and pick up this gun, hopefully. And then who is left? There should be one more. Fingers, I'm going to give a lightsaber with the green crystal. No. Alright, so they've all got a weapon now at least. We know the colonists need beds. There's not much we can do about that until we get the research going, which is now. I'm going to research complex furniture, get that started. And I'm going to go to my work tab, and I'm going to make sure that nobody except Doc and Boss do the research. I'm also going to make sure that Doc does nothing except research and be a doctor. Basics fine to keep, bed rest we need, doctor, and to be a patient in a firefight. Boss, I'm happy to do anything really. And the rest are okay for now. We've already got some mining underway here, which is fantastic. Still raining, but everybody's still in high spirits. They've only just begun their journey, really. So they're still full of optimism and they're hoping things are going to work out. At least we've got a roof over our heads now where we can take shelter from this rain. But, you know, rain is not so bad. As soon as this furniture research is done, I can start to build some bedrooms. But while it's being done, I may as well go ahead and build the actual rooms themselves. So I need to think about where to put them. I think I'm going to get rid of all this because it's not going to fit the style of my base for now. I always like to leave a two square walkway for them so that two people can, you know, easily pass each other. And I like to make the bedrooms as large as possible. They like a bit of space, these colonists. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. 4, 5. I'll put a door on each one for them to get in and out. Now this is going to take up a lot of my starting wood resources, so I also want to get some tree chopping going on. So I'll go to chop wood and then I can start to select the trees I want to get rid of. But I mean, for now, let's have a look. I've still got 2,300 wood. So I've only used 1,000 to build all that so far. I wonder how long it will be before the first raid comes. The game likes to throw things at you, and you never really know what's coming, except for the first raid is normally just one naked, very weak tribesperson from another faction. They're normally pretty easy to take out, but then the second raid can be anything from 6 to 25. I've had some horrific second raids before, so we're just going to have to hope until we get a bit more powerful that we don't get absolutely fucked over by the game. I'm going to build a little row of sandbags here and a little row of sandbags here, and this is just so I've got something to stand behind. And I find it's much better to draw the enemy in than it is to chase them down. So I'll have my lightsaber units here and my shooters here, and as the enemies come round I can bring the lightsabers around the side and flank them, and the same here. Although here I might not be able to flank so easily, but I'll work it out when it comes. Or I'll just get completely destroyed. I mean, as I say, I'm not amazing at this game by any means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 bedrooms, and I am going to build an extra one somewhere for any prisoners that I might get. I think I might build that. Let's build it down here. I want it separate from the colonists. But I want it, you know, close enough to the bedrooms, because it is a bedroom. I'd like to call it a bedroom and not a cell. We're not into taking prisoners here, but the time will arise where we have to, so we can recruit them. Because ultimately we can't really survive for long with 6 colonists. We need to expand. We need to make some friends, and we need to, you know, build this new community that we're hoping will be better than where we've come from. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up slightly now, just because I want to get the majority of this building out of the way, and I'd like to get this research done as well. Okay, so cook is not in a good place. He's broken down and he's wandering around in sadness. This happened because of his poor mood, and the final straw was because he has nothing to do in his spare time, which is fair enough. I should have built them a little game to play before now. I'm going to put that here. In fact, I'm going to put 2, and this will just give them something to do in their downtime. Another thing I'm going to build now is a crafting spot and a fueled stove, but the stove I actually want to put in a separate room altogether, attached to the food storage. And this will be my kitchen. And it's always good to have your kitchen completely separate from everything else, especially separate from the messy production buildings, like the butcher's table, which I shouldn't have put there. So I'm going to go ahead and build the fueled stove in the kitchen area, and I'm going to put a butcher's table in the production room here. Why can't I build it there? Ah, because I put the crafting spot. Okay, put it there. Alright. So they're sleeping in. Oh no, they're not. It's only 5. Okay, fair enough. Springtime. Not the best weather for building a colony. There's a lot of rain so far, but it doesn't seem to be affecting our mood too badly. Fixit's mood is starting to drop. She's not happy about many different things, but Cook is the worst off. He really needs to take a break from things. The main concern right now is getting our beds up and built. In the meantime, I'm going to put some sleeping spots in the respective bedrooms. So at the very least, they'll have somewhere safe and warm and dry to sleep. I'm also going to put an animal spot in each room, so that their pets can snuggle up next to them and also enjoy the warmth. As soon as this research completes, I'll just replace the bed spots with real beds, which will give them a bonus to happiness every morning. And Cook is finally broken out of his wandering sadness, and he's probably going to go and eat. Yeah. So these survival meals will... I mean, they're some of the best. They're pretty high quality, and they don't degrade so fast without being refrigerated. So this is going to give me a good start before I have to start providing food for my colonists. Who's having a meal? My boss is now. Oh dear. Yeah, and then as soon as I have the refrigeration here, I can start stockpiling meat and berries and other things like that. While Doc is doing the research, I'm going to start my farm area, and I think the best place to do that is going to be down here, down this side. So I'm going to build, to start with, I'm going to go 12 by 12. I'm going to build 3 to start with. Ah, damn it, there's some concrete there. That's annoying. It's okay though, I can go like this. So I've got 3 separate growing zones. In one, I'm going to have corn. In one, I'm going to have heel root. And in the other one, I am going to have smoke leaf, which will provide some herbal entertainment, let's say. I really like them to destroy this. I don't know why they're not prioritising that. But I'm not going to complain just yet. Everybody's doing their share. Everybody's pulling their weight. So far, so good, I would say. We're getting plenty of extra steel from this mining here, which is fantastic. Steel is very important later on. It's good to get a good stockpile at the beginning if you can. So I'm just going to continue to chip away at this. Do not like the look of these wargs here, or wild boars, sorry. They have a real tendency to attack your dogs. Don't want to lose your dogs, do ya? No. Okay, so because of the intro to this video being quite long, I think I'm going to call it a day here for this first episode. And we will join these guys again directly after this moment in the next episode. So, thanks very much for watching. This is my first Let's Play series of the channel. I'm hoping to do more, so please subscribe and hit the bell so you can get a notification when I post another episode. And please leave a like, tell your friends. I'm going to need a lot of help to get this channel started, but I'm going to try my best to put out the best content and make it entertaining and fun. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in episode 2. Bye-bye!